we're gonna pour the salt water within here.
Now, we're going to set the beaker inside like this, and the salt water is going to be around it, right?
Okay.
Okay. And then, what are we going to do?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. So the salt water is going to be in here, right?
Okay.
Beaker's in here, it's empty,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we're going to set it onto our hot plate,
Right.
okay?
Yeah.
And it's going to boil,
All right.
okay? Now, what's going to boil?
The salt water.
Okay. Is the salt going to boil?
No.
Why not?
Because the salt is going to disappear in the water.
No. The salt's going to stay down here in the pot,
Okay.
okay? Because salt water, okay, it boils at a very high temperature. Now, this is important. This is the whole point of the lab, okay? Plain water, what temperature does it boil at?
I'm guessing 75.
A little bit more than that. It boils at 100,
Okay.
100 degrees Celsius,
All right.
okay? So we're going to boil this at 100 degrees Celsius, okay? And since pure water boils at 100 degrees Celsius,
Yes.
and salt water boils at like 130 degrees,
Yes.
as long as we keep it at 100, what's going to happen with the salt water?
It's going to turn into drinking water.
Okay, the salt water is going to stay. The salt's going to stay down here.
Okay.
The pure water is going to come up as steam.
Okay.
Put the lid on it like this. Okay,
How come?
watch. What's going to happen is all the steam is going to hit the top here
Okay.
of the lid. The lid is cool. The pot is hot.
Okay.
Since the lid is cool, when the steam hits the lid, it's going to turn back into water. And it's going to roll down right in here. And it's going to roll down and it's going to drip off the middle of the handle there and right into the beaker. Just the pure water.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Right?
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 We're going to boil salt water to 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
No,
That's
100 degrees Celsius, which is 212 degrees Fahrenheit.
All right.
So 212 degrees. So if you want to think of Fahrenheit,
So
212.
212 Fahrenheit and 100 degrees Celsius.
That's right.
And then when the salt water boils, the salt water is going to just be down here, and the normal water is going to go into transform into a gas, go to the lid, and the pure water is going to drip off and into the beaker.
Exactly. Very good. What is it called when the water turns into a gas? Boiling.
Oh,
Boiling.
boiling.
When we boil, it's when water turns into a gas.
Okay.
And condensation, condensing, is when the gas turns back into a liquid. Okay, so what is it called when the water turns into a gas?
Boiling.
Okay, what is it called when the gas turns back into a liquid? Condensation.
Oh, condensation.
Okay, so one more time. What is it called when the gas turns back into a liquid?
Condensation.
Very good. All right. Ready to get started? All right, let's make it. Okay, now, we can't put too much water because if we put too much, this thing's going to float. So we need to make sure this will sit in the bottom. So far, so good. Let's get some more water.
All right.
Go ahead, pour it all in. All right, now set it down in there and see if it's going to float or if it sits.
It sits.
Just barely hot.
Ooh.
That's good. Okay, so we're going to do that. Now, let's go and pour some salt in.
Some salt.
Pour it all over. There you go.
That's enough?
Looks good. Now go ahead and pick up the pot and kind of stir it around there so the salt dissolves in there. Go ahead and pick it up. You can pick it up. There you go. Mix it around.
Salt water.
Salt water. Excellent. All dissolved in there, right? Okay. And then we're going to set the beaker down in there.
Okay, the beaker.
Okay, so this is a 500 milliliter beaker. Okay, so how much water did we put in?
How
How many of these did we put?
2
Two of these. We put 2 of these, right? And if each one of these is 500, how much water do we put in?
We put in
500 and 500 is
1,000 gallons.
very good. Not gallons, milliliters.
Oh, milliliters.
Okay, so we put in 1,000 milliliters. Okay? Sit that down. All right? All right. So let's go ahead and plug in our hot plate. Right here.
I still don't understand how these tables have outlets.
They're electrical wiring that runs through the bottom. Okay? All right, so go ahead and turn that on. It's on off now. And so this way is that you have to push it. Just turn it. That's low, so this is off. All the way around is high, but we don't want to boil it too much because we don't want the water splashing in. It's going to ruin our pure water, right?
All right.
So we're going to keep it. Go ahead, you turn it on. Turn it on. Put it on. That's on low. Why don't you crank it up to maybe 3? Because we're going to need to get
What
boiling
is
here.
it point?
It's on low. Go ahead and keep going.
Like that?
Yeah, that's 2. Keep going. 3.
It's 3?
Yeah, that's 3.
All right.
Go ahead and set your lid on top there. Very good. Okay, now this is going to get really hot. Okay, so let's not make sure this is going to get very, very hot. We're not going to touch that. It's definitely going to heat up our pot, so we're not going to touch that either. Let's just kind of back off and let it go for a few minutes, and we'll come back and see what happens in a little bit. Okay?
The liquid.
What is it that's there?
Now gas turning into liquid. It's the same thing.
Is there a line? What's the line for?
The line shows that the liquid is dropping in the middle right into the beaker.
Very
It
good.
turns into the drops. They drip down and they go inside the beaker. And then the salt is at the bottom. Then the beaker holds all the pure water.
Very good.
Pure drinking water. Salt water's all down there. See, that's how you That's how you take purify salt water.
That's right.
Purify salt water into drinking water.
And water is also known as?
H2O. Doing today kind of explains how the clouds float up in the sky. See, the water when it becomes like all apart and little tiny drops, it turns into a gas that floats all the way up. And then after a while it gets a little heavier, then it stays where it stops floating, and then
It forms.
And then it forms what is it? Back into a liquid. That's why the rain comes from clouds.
Very good. Thank you, sir.